All right, guys, we are moving on to question number 28. This says, Darren collects data on the U.S. population from 1920 to 2020. He graphs the population and the number of years since 1920 in the scatter plot shown. He determines the equation for the line of best fit to be y equals 2 and 33/100 x plus 92 and 5/100, where y represents the population in millions of people and x represents the number of years since 1920. Based on Darren's model, what is the projected U.S. population in millions of people for the year 2040? So we have a word problem here for this linear equation, which makes this line of best fit. So we've got to make some sense out of this word problem, right? So we want to find out what is happening, how many millions of people for the year 2040. And what years do we have graphed here? We have the years 1920 to 2020. And he graphs the population and the number of years since 1920 in the scatter plot shown. The number of years since 1920. And this is the years since 1920. So all of this that I made yellow, this is my X. And actually, when you're on the test, I know I'm writing on my PDF. When you're on the test, you have a tool here where you can highlight. I think you have to highlight it first. It's not exactly as user-friendly as the PDF. And then you can, I guess, come here and highlight. Number of years since 1920. Yeah, it takes a little bit more time to use this function on here. So I'm not going to mess with that here because you can't really even see everything on one screen. But while you're practicing for your test, this highlighting, it does help me to get a better understanding of what's going on in the question. And I think it would get you a better understanding as well. So get yourself familiar with how to use this highlight function that is in the test. Meanwhile, while I'm looking at the problem, I'm going to come back over here. So all of this is the X, right? There's my X. And I want my X to be the year 2040. And this 0 right here represents 1920. That's when X equals 0. And then when X equals 100, right here, that's 100 years later. That's year 2020. X equals 100. So what do we need for the year 2040? What do we need X to be? This is really, if you can get this little piece of information, you've unlocked the key to answering this question. What do we need our X to be? And I can see that the year 2040 is 20 years after 2020, or it's 120 years after 1920. So I need my X to be 120. So it would be on the graph right here. 120 would be the year 2040. So now that we know what X needs to be, we can use the equation that they gave us in the word problem and just plug it in. What is the projected population in millions of people? Population in millions of people, excuse me, I apologize. Our population in millions of people is our Y. That's what y is. So our answer is going to be, what is y when x is 120? And I'm just going to put that right into the calculator. Y equals, I can't put variables and I can't put an equal sign on this scientific calculator. So I'm going to put everything after the equal sign. 2 and 33 hundredths. I'm putting my x in parentheses, plus 92 and 5 hundredths. And I'm going to back out my x, and I'm going to put in x equals 120. So really it's like I'm evaluating a function where x equals 120. I'm just using a little logic and word problem with that. And it gives me the answer. It's equal to y. And it's 371.65 millions of people. This question, number 28, you can practice some similar word problems to this and interpretations in IXL. I have a few lessons that you can look at. I don't know if any of them are exactly like this, but they'll help you to get an understanding. We've got AF2, U98, R96, and 8BS. And I do have my report pulled back up that tells us that 27% of Florida students got this question correct on their Algebra EOC last year. I think I have time for another question on this video. Question number 29. Oh, and let me type that in. It was 370, oops, my number locks on 371 and 65.65. Okay. Number 29 looks like we're writing a system of equations from a word problem. Bashir has $3,410 to invest in two different investment accounts, account A and account B. The accounts earn simple interest for 1 year. Account A earns 6% interest, account B earns 2% interest, and he wants his interest to be at least $196. Bashir puts X dollars into account A and Y dollars into account B. Which system of constraints represents the situation? So we have a system with, we got an equation and an inequality. So they're calling it a system of constraints. Okay. If I look here, I'm going to look at my keywords again. Bashir has $3,400 like in total to invest. Like I'm inputting those words in total right there with that right away. Into two different investment accounts, account A and account B. X is going into account A and Y is going into account B. We don't know how much he's going to put into each account. Which of our answer options shows us that in total he's putting $3,410 into accounts A and B out of our answer options here? Notice I haven't highlighted anything that has to do with interest yet, right? So I'm going to say we need this to be a part of our system of constraints for this question. So these two options here, where they have the total with the interest rates, I'm going to say these are out. Now I'm going to look at those interest rates, and actually I'm going to reset my highlights, because we already know that's the total. And I'll go green for account A earns 6% interest, and account A is X. And if I look over here, this X has the wrong interest. This has the correct interest. I don't even need to really read the rest to know that answer choice B is going to be right. And then you can look, why is account B is earning 2%. And he wants to earn at least $196. So this amount of interest he's getting needs to be greater than or equal to 196. So this is the correct answer. Answer choice B. I did find some practice in IXL that's similar. Again, it's not exactly the same, but it is similar. You have lesson B, V, B, and you have lesson C, U, 9 in IXL, and 62% of Florida test takers got this question correct. And how are we doing on time? While we're in here, I'm just going to go back and give you the totals. That's the last question I'm going to go over. But if you look back at question number 27, I didn't tell you this in the other video, but 36% of test takers got that right. Number 26, 60% of test takers got that right. Number 25, 52% of test takers got that right. Number 24 was 48%. Number 23 was 51%. Number 22 was 45%. Number 21 was only 46%. That definitely should have been higher. Number 20 was 47%. While number 19 was 58%. I would like for you to analyze, why do you think less people got number 20 than number 19, right? You can comment and let me know what you think if you're paying attention this far. Number 18 is 31%. And number 17 was 59%. Number 16 was 49%. 15, only 34%. And number 14 was 53%. 13 was 36%. 12 was 52%. 11 was 43%. Number 10 was 34%. And then the rest of them, I gave you the percents on the other video. Now that I have my other report with me, I went ahead and added that in. All right, I will catch you guys on the next video.